Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 7 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 7 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter number sequences. And the lessons we're going to cover today are number sequences, mixed review, evaluate variable expressions for number sequences, write variable expressions for arithmetic sequences. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Okay, so please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well, right? So here I'm on grade 7 math. The chapter we are on right now is number sequences. Let's just start with the lesson that is number sequences mixed review. So basically in the last lesson we have covered how to identify the arithmetic and geometric sequences. Then we have covered arithmetic and geometric sequences also, right? So today we are going to do that. First lesson is the mixed review. So I'm going to just review once again what are the arithmetic and geometric sequences, right? So let's just start with the example. Hold on. And the pattern you have to find the the next number, right? So now you have to see if that is the arithmetic or geometric sequence. So the numbers are 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. You need to find the next number, right? So how do we find that? Basically, that is the geometric sequence, right? Because you can get the next number by multiplying the previous one by the same times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16 because you are multiplying with the same number every time. So that's why that is a geometric sequence. If you find the next number by multiplying the previous number, like if you get the next number by multiplying the sum, that would be the geometric one. So you need to do 16 times 2, and yes, very good, that is 32. 16 times 2 is 32. Prabha, in which grade you are? The correct option is 32, right? Basically, we have to find the pattern. When you find the pattern, then that would be easy for you to find the missing number, right? And when you find the pattern, you know that is arithmetic trick. Okay, let's just start. Okay, that's great because I think you are in almost every grade, every session you are there. That's why I'm okay. What is the missing number in this pattern? So you need to find the missing number, right? So the missing number is Option number one, it is 9, it is not 8. Why? The numbers are squares. Basically, they are like 1 square, then you have 2 square, then you have 3 square, then you have 4 square and 5 square. 1 square is 4, 3 square is 4 square is 16, and 5 square is 25. So basically, the missing number is 9. How 8? The correct option is 9, right? No, that isn't the multiplication by 2, right? If you still multiply 4 times 2 to not 25, isn't it? All the numbers already given. Okay, the next one is type the missing number in the sequence. Okay, now you have to find the missing number. So let's just identify the pattern. What type of sequence it is and which is the next one. The next one is 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 4, 7 plus 4 makes 11. The next number is 11. Got it? The next number is 11. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is the missing number in the pattern? So which is the missing number? That is 1, 8. So the missing number 64, 1. So basically, you need to understand the sequence that they are the cube of the numbers. 1 is the cube of 1, 8 is the cube of 2. You have 5 cube, right? So yes, the missing number is 27. 3 cube is 27. Option number 2 is the correct option. Got it? Type the missing number in the sequence. So which is the next one? Yes, 1024. It is option number 2 is the correct option. Very good. Okay, what is the missing number in the patterns? Which number is missing? Yes, the next number is 13, not 12. How? 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1, like here you add the last two numbers. 1 plus 1 makes 2. Then 2 plus 1 makes 3. Then 3 plus 2 makes 5. 5 plus 3 makes 8. So for the next one, you need to add 8 and 5. So 8 plus 5 makes 13, right? 13 it is. The next number in the sequence is 13. The correct option is 13. Okay, the next one is type the missing number in the sequence, which is the next number. The missing number is 11. The correct option is 11. Okay, the next one is what is the missing number in the pattern? So, which is the next number? That is 49. Oh, yes, 36. Sorry, not 49. The correct option is 36. Option number one is the correct option. Very good. Okay, the next one is type the missing number in the sequence. The correct option is yes, 243. They all are the product of 3, right? 3 times 3 is 9. So you have to multiply to get the next number. You need to multiply the previous one by 3. Yes. So that is 243. Can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Okay, the next lesson is number sequence word problems. You can do the word problems on your own, right? Let's just start with the next one, that is evaluate variable expressions for number sequences. So now we know the about the number sequences, right? Now we are going to learn how do we evaluate the variable expressions, right? If you are given the variable expression, how do you find the number sequence? Let's just start with the first example. Like here you are given the variable expression that is 2 times 4 exponent n, right? You have to find the first 5 terms in the sequence. You are given the variable expression, need to find the number sequence, right? So how do we find? We have to start with n equals 1. Basically, we are going to replace the n with different values like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 4 exponent 1 is 4 and 4 times 2 is 8. So the first number in the sequence is 8. For the second number, replace the n with 2. So that is 4 square. So 4 square is 4 times 4 is 16. You have to do 16 times 2, that is 32. You need to evaluate this first, right? That is 4 times 4, right? Now you are going to replace 4 and with 3, right? So now you have to multiply that 4 3 times, right? 4 times 4 is 8. 8, sorry, hold on. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64, and 64 times 2 is 128, right? Same way you have to evaluate 2 4 exponent 4, and then you have 2 4 exponent 5. Basically, you need to understand this. For every value you need to replace the value of n, right? And you have to be more careful with calculations. Got it? So the numbers are 8, 32, 128, 512, and 2048. Got it? Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Okay, the first one is find the first 4 terms in the sequence defined below where n represents the position of a term in the sequence. Okay, so with n equals 1, you are the variable expression that is 7n plus 5, right? You have to find the numbers in the sequence, start with n equals 1. So for the first value, replace the n equals 1. So 7 times 1 is 7, and 7 times 7 plus 5 is 12, right? For the second one, replace with 2. 7 times 2 is 14, and 14 plus 5 equals 19, right? For the second one, replace third one and replace n with 3. 7 times 3 is 21, and 5 26. And then for the fourth value, replace n by 4. 7 times 4 is 28, and 28 plus 5 33. So option is the correct option, that is 12, 19, 26, and 33. Got it? Okay, let's just start with the okay, let's just move on to next one. So the next one is okay, the next one is find the first 5 terms in the sequence behind defined below where n represents the position of a term in the sequence, start with n equals 1. Okay, so the sequence is now 2 times 2 exponent n. So start with replacing n equals 1. So that would be 2 times 2 is 4. Now for the second value, you need to replace that n by 2. So you have to evaluate this first, right? You need to evaluate 2 square. 2 square is 4 and 4 times 2 makes 8. Then for the third value, you need to replace 2 by 3. So that is 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. For the fourth value, we need to replace that n by 4. So that is 16 times 2 is 32. So the first five values are 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. Got it? Okay, let's just start with the test questions. The next one is, sorry, the next one. Find the first four terms of the sequence defined below, where n represents the position of a term in a sequence. Start with n equals 1. So which is the correct option? That is hmm, option number 1 is the correct option. They are 6, 12, 24, and 48. Option number 1 is the correct option. Got it? So the correct option is option number 1. Very good. Okay, find the first three terms of the sequence defined below, where n represents the position of the term in the sequence. Start with n equals 1. N minus 7 it is. So which is the correct option? That is option number 1, negative 6, negative 5, and negative 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. Find the first five terms of the sequence defined below, where n represents the position of a term in the sequence. Start with n equals 1. So which is the correct option? Option number 2 is the correct option. Negative 6, negative 14, negative 22, negative 30, and negative 38. Option number 2 is the correct option. Find the first 5 terms in the sequence defined below where n represents the position of a term in the sequence. Start with n equals 1. Option number 2 is the correct option, that is 6, 18, 54, 162, and 486. Very good. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, find the first 5 terms of the sequence defined below where n represents the position of a term in the sequence. Start with n equals 1. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is very good. Option number 1 is the correct option. There are 3, 7, 11, 15, and 19. Option number 1 is the correct option. Find the first 3 terms of the sequence defined below where n represents the position of a term in the sequence. Start with n equals 1. Which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 1. 12, 48, and 192 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Very good. Find the first 5 terms of the sequence defined below where n represents the position of the term in the sequence. Start with n equals 1. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is, hmm, hold on. Yes, option number 1 is the correct option. That is negative 5, negative 1, 3, 7, and 11. Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to next lesson. You can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is write variable expressions for arithmetic sequences. Okay, so for the lesson we just covered, we are given the variable expressions, right? We have to find the number sequences. Now you're given the sequences, you need to find the arithmetic sequence, right? Sorry, you need to find the variable expression, right? Okay, so write an expression to describe the sequence below. Okay, you are given the sequence. The sequence is -2, -1, 0, and 1. You have to find the sequence for this arithmetic sequence, right? So how do we find the sequence? So you start with the sequence -2, -1, 0, and 1, right? So basically, just look at this number -3, -1, and 0, right? That means every time you have to subtract these numbers from 3 n minus 3. So 1 minus 3 is -2, right? Because here you have -2. Then you have 1 minus 2 minus -3 is -1. Then you have 3 minus 3. So basically, this variable expression for this sequence is, okay, let's just start with the practice questions. Let's see how do we find the variable expression, right? Describe this. Use n to represent the position of a term in the sequence where n equals 1 from the first term. Okay, you have to start for n equals 1, right? For example, the first term is 1, but here you are given 2. That means you need to add 1. 1 plus 1 is 1. This is n. For the second one, you have 2 plus 1. So you can see the second term is 3. That means the variable expression is n plus 1. The correct option is n plus 1. Okay, let's just move on to next one. So for this one, the correct option is n plus 1. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, write an expression to describe the sequence below. Use n to represent the position of a term in the sequence where n equals 1 for the first term. So which is the correct option? The correct option is yes, 4, and it is. The numbers are the product of 4, right? So 4, 8, 12, and 16 is the correct option. Write an expression to describe the sequence below. Use n to represent the position of a term in the sequence where n equals 1 for the first term. So which is the correct option? That is n minus 4. Option number 2 is the correct option, right? N minus 4 it is. Very good. Write an expression to describe the sequence below. Use n to represent the position of a term in the sequence, where n equals 1 for the first time. So, which is the correct option for the first term? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 1, that is negative 5, and option number 1 is the correct option. Write an expression to describe the sequence below. Use n to represent the position of a term in the sequence where n equals 1 for the first time. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 2 is the correct option, that is n minus 3. Write an expression to describe the sequence below. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is negative 6, and option number 1 is the correct option. Very good. Write an expression to describe the sequence below. Use n to represent the position of a term in the sequence where n equals 1 for the first time. So, which is the correct option? That is n plus 4. The correct option is n plus 4. Option number 2 is the correct option. N to represent the position of a term in the sequence where n equals 1 for the first time. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is option number one is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 7 math. The chapter we were working on is number sequences. The lessons we have covered today are number sequences, mixed review, evaluate variable expressions for number sequences, then write variable expressions for arithmetic sequences, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. Or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5. So if you have any question, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you one.